So, week 6 is in the books, folks. We had a couple of games out there, but this game in particular, I gotta scoot up for this one, Chris. This one brought the entertainment level at an all time high. Who knew? UCLA brings in Penn State. Penn State just lost that game a week ago to Oregon. Trying to bounce back, Chris, against UCLA, a team that going into this game had no head coach. They're out there with an interim coach, Coach Skipper, and boy, what do you know? Coach Skipper and crew, they skipped all around Penn State because Nico Iamaleava looked like a Heisman Trophy frontrunner in this game. 42-37 was your score in this one in the end, Chris. UCLA took down Penn State. I'm still in shock, Chris, with what I saw on Saturday. What are your thoughts about this one? Because the country was definitely shook up by this one. Kind of think Chris's voice is kind of out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you now. We can
Okay.
hear you just
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. All right. Good. So I was just saying, man, it's quite the win. I mean, this is almost unprecedented stuff that we are seeing. This team was Penn State was a 28-point favorite. Um, UCLA was winless. This is like the third time in the AP poll history that a winless team knocked off a top 10 team. So an 0-4 team at that, that tells you just how rare this feat is. And now Skipper has as many top 10 wins against Big Ten opponents as James Franklin, the team, the coach that he knocked off. His first week as a head coach, he's already caught up to James Franklin with top 10 wins in the Big Ten. So
How about that one?
run with that information as you will. But seriously, Kory, this is huge for UCLA. We're going to talk about the winners first. Um, Huge for Skipper and putting his case in as why he should be the possible official head coach of this team in the future. Rick Neuheisel's son uh, was doing his thing, first time calling the plays, stepped in, and then he was getting some of the plays in late. This was all new to him, having to call the plays and get them to the QB. He said in his press conference that he had a few instances where there's some miscommunication, but you couldn't tell that first half. They were just putting points on the board and took it to Penn State. Um, but this team looks like a team that can be a problem. They look rejuvenated. Looks like the guys have a lot of fight in them, and this is this is a team that can be dangerous when firing at all cylinders, doing different things that they weren't doing earlier in the year. You could tell the offense had some new looks, some new wrinkles to it, and it definitely paid off. Nico looked like the talented prospect that he is. You finally kind of saw his talent come to life in the UCLA jersey for the first time, and then Penn State. We've had our questions about Penn State all season long, Kory. We said they haven't played elite competition, and this offense had its struggles against lower level opposition, let alone in Oregon. And we saw how long it took for them to finally get points on the board and had to make a comeback against Oregon. The same thing happened in this one. It had to come roaring back in the second half. Penn State, This is bad for James Franklin. I'm curious to see how this team responds because I don't want to necessarily write them off. But if this is who you are, you're not going to the playoffs this year playing like this. They have to figure some things out. Katron Allen played well, but only had 8 carries. Like you're going to need to start giving Allen the ball a little more. Go with the guy who's toting it and putting you in position to succeed. We'll see what adjustments Penn State makes, but this is one of the worst losses I think in program history. I mean, you losing to a winless team, and you're a top 10 team. You already had questions about winning. Can you win the big one? Now we got a question: can you win the little one? Because you lost to a team that has no victories. So this is tough for James Franklin, man. He's going to have to really rally the troops because this can just take the spirit out of a team that was coming off of had hopes of a national championship game and was right there a couple plays away from making it to the national championship last year.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. It just what a blunder of an opportunity in Penn State in this one. Like, man, it's one thing to lose against Oregon, at home. Oregon's a really good team, playoff team for sure. But it's another thing of going on the road. You're a double-digit favorite against a winless team in UCLA, and this is all you do. This is what you produce out on the field. I mean, Drew Allard, he was just looking shook. You can look it in his eyes, and it wasn't just him. To be honest with you, the whole team just looked just lethargic. And who is that predicated on? It's predicated on the coach, the head coach, James Franklin. To me, he has these guys with the same, the different demeanor as him, and that's not good. That is not good. And yeah, I don't know what I don't know what you can do now if you're a Penn State fan seeing this. Like this is a collapse. You had all of these high hopes this season with getting to the playoffs, getting back to the playoffs, potentially, getting into a national championship. That's gone at this point. You still got to play Ohio State, and those guys are rolling. They are balling. It don't get no easier for you. It gets harder. So, yeah, I don't know what happens now, Chris, after this blunder of a game, but if you're James Franklin, man, you are probably feeling that seat get pretty hot now after what's transpired the last couple weeks on the football field. You're just not producing those wins that a lot of folks were hoping that you doing. You brought back people. You brought back Drew Allard. Looks like Drew Allard regressed. So I don't know, Chris. It's tough. It's tough to be a Penn State fan out there. I know their fans. They want to be in the conversation every year in and year out. But this isn't it. What you saw yesterday.
Yeah, no, this team, they have a lot of work to do. And it's a good example. This weekend is a great example of why we don't necessarily need, and we've said it before on the show, we don't need preseason polls. We don't need these preseason rankings. So this team was the second ranked team, number 2 team in the nation preseason by the AP voters. And we see how things are looking at the moment. No wins against any Power 4 teams. to this point. It's week 6. You know, so this is a tough one, and we may have. I think we found out that Penn State. This team is they have talent, but they aren't in the conversation to win a national championship by any means. Can they rally? This is a real gut punch, and it's one thing to lose to Oregon. It's another thing to lose to a winless UCLA. Now let's see if you can reset. The team has the pieces to be competitive against anybody they play with. Can they put that product on the field? We'll see. I'm not confident in them doing so with James Franklin as the head coach, but he may. And then maybe they just lose to Ohio State. They beat everybody else. We'll see. That's a possibility. But there's a lot of work that has to be done. So let's see if Penn State can hit the drawing board and bounce back.
We will see. We will see. I mean, look, we're going to talk about another team in just a little while about bouncing back and winning big games. So, this game was supposed to be a sure bet. You did not capitalize on it. So, we'll see what happens. But one last thing I will say, Chris, and that is for UCLA overall. Tim Skipper and, Jerry Newhouser. And I was looking at his father, Rick, on CBS Sports. Just elated to see, how well they coached this USC Bruins team into a victory. Yeah, I could definitely see Jerry Newhouser and Tim Skipper being around there for a while. If they can rally this team in the way that they did yesterday, yeah, I think this team will be A-OK going forward.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they look like a whole different UCLA team.
Yeah,
this was a complete different vibe on the sidelines, energy level. And you see those guys; they love those coaches.
Right.
When they won, they really lifted them both up.
Yep.
They so this team still has a lot of ball left to play, a lot of fight in them, and I look for UCLA to be a dangerous out every Saturday going forward for anybody in the Big Ten. You're going to have to really come with it, because these are some younger coaches that you may have been held back with what you wanted to necessarily do earlier this season, not being in the position that you are currently in as an interim coach or as the guy calling plays. Now this is your chance to let loose, and it looks like the guys like what the coaches are, bringing to the table and trying to the game plan that they come with. So we'll see, how things play out, because anything can happen when you have a talented young coaching staff and a talented 5-star prospect at QB who we saw look like the guy that we anticipated him being at UCLA. You got the QB, you got the coaches. Hey, just let the ball, just put the ball out there and see what happens, because that's the two pieces you need to be successful on any team.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you, Chris. And yeah, just hearing Nico in the post game press, in the post game speech, he was just talking about how he was just happy to be there at UCLA. Like, he wants to be there. It's one thing of he left Tennessee. It's another thing that to go through what he went through in those first 4 games up to this point is big. It's a big confidence booster. You saw it on his face. You saw it on his team members' face. Like, they look like they are locked in. They love what Jerry Newhouser and Tim Skipper are preaching to them. They look like a totally complete, just a different team overall. Just a different team. And hey, sky's the limit for those guys. So It was great to finally see Nico, have an upbeat mood for once. It was definitely a bittersweet moment, I'd say, for him and for that fan base for sure.
Yeah, no, he definitely needed this win. Program needed this win. So we'll see what goes going forward. What happens?
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, Chris, big win for UCLA, tough one for Penn State. We'll see what happens with both of these teams moving forward this season. But anything else you want to add to this game before we move on?
Nah,